right, let's go over pages 19 and 20 that you completed yesterday, hopefully during class. Pages 19 and 20. I had already done number 1 with you, so we'll skip ahead. So number 2, I'm going to go ahead and pull this down here so we can kind of focus on one set of information at a time. Okay, so here on number 2, it asks you for how many students. So again, it asks you for how many, not the percent of the value. You need to define percent first. So we have our mean of 70, standard deviation of 3. I got a z-score, and I found that 95% of the students, okay, so 95.21% of 500 students is what I know had those weights between 60 kilograms and 75. So I multiplied that decimal by 500, and that came to about 476 students. So again, it did not ask for what percent of students, it asked for how many students. That's how you know to take it one step further. It's the key to leaving it in a percent is what's the probability, what's the percent of observations, or what's the, or just percent, the proportion of observations or the percent. Probability, proportion of observations, percent. Leave it as a percent. But if it asks for how many, turn it into students. Now, you might have kind of freaked out a little bit on this one yesterday, but more than 90 kilograms. Look at this z-score. That is huge. You know, the normal model goes to only about 3 above the mean. So going out, so we normally go 3 above the mean. Well, this is out here at over 6 standard deviations above the mean. So that is huge. Now, when you norm CDF this in your calculator, you would have gotten a scientific notation problem where it was 1.29 times 10 to the negative 11th. And if you put that in a decimal, it would have looked like this. So all of those zeros, 10 zeros, and then a 129, that's about 0. So essentially, 0 students weigh more than 90 kilograms. All right, less than 64, so we got that. It was just 0.0228, only 2.28%, which when I multiply that, that's about 11 students. So as far as rounding goes, I just rounded appropriately. If the decimal was 11.3, then I went down to 11. If it would have been, 10.6 or whatever, I can't remember what it was, then I rounded up to the whole person. Okay, so just round appropriately on your people. Okay, next, page 20, you skipped those two. This one asked, what is the probability? So you are allowed to leave your answer as a percentile. What's the probability of getting a grade higher than? So that was that. A also asked, what percentage of the population? So you are allowed to leave your answer as a percentage. You got your 2 z-scores. You norm CDF'd it from negative 0.33 to 0.67, 37.79%. We omitted B, and let's look at C. For a population of 2,500, how many? So once you got the percentage, do not leave it there. It takes you again to the number of people, not just the percent. So once I find my area, which was 4.75%, I multiplied it by the total people so I could get about 119 people. And again, I rounded appropriately. If it was above 0.5, 118.6, whatever, then I rounded up. Okay, so that was all of those. Now, what I want you to do for your assignment today is the warm-up, which is pages 21 to 23. Okay, and so in class, you're going to be doing pages 21 to 23. What you do not finish is homework, and then we will have quiz on Wednesday. So the quiz tomorrow over this material. It'll be in the format of your warm-up, pages 21 to 23.